Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. So, my name is Callie Beltry Smither, and today I am going to be presenting our comprehensive marketing strategy for the launch of Trap Vegan Frozen Meals. So, specifically for the Prairie View A&M University market, we have identified over a huge, unique gap in the market where culture, health, and convenience intersect. Over the next 10 to 12 minutes, I will guide you through our research, our strategic analysis, and the tactical plan we have developed to turn Trap Vegan into a number one meal choice for PV students. Let's begin with the executive summary. So, to give you a high level view of our plan, Trap Vegan was founded in Detroit in 2021 by Jasmine Railford. The brand has built up a reputation for making vegan food accessible, flavorful, and culturally rooted. Our objective is to leverage this strong brand identity to enter an existing market, the frozen food aisle, pretty much, with a new product, which is currently culturally relevant frozen meals. This is a classic product development growth strategy. We have chosen a concentrated targeting strategy focused strictly on PVMU undergrads. We're trying to capture the entire state of Texas, but of course, PVMU is the niche market that we'll start with because all of these undergraduate students are living in a food desert, which we'll explain later. So, our plan solely relies on the marketing mix that is designed for speed and adoption of the frozen products, which are culturally authentic meals, authentic to Black American food, which is soul food, and the price being $3.99 to $6.99, and then as well as the place which is will be placed and distributed on campus locations for the Panther Mart, the dining halls, and local retail like Walmart, Dollar General in Hempstead, and different stores across the Prairie View and Hempstead area that are accessible to students. So, before I begin, there is also here is some food insecurity statistics within HBCU students as well as specifically PV, as well as Gen Z students. So this is about their diet and also food insecurity. So as you can see, 63.5% of students face food insecurity at Prairie View A&M University. First, we'll look at the social cultural forces. We're witnessing a significant shift with Generation Z, and they're pretty much driving a plant based subculture, especially with the Black community. This is fueled by rising awareness of health equity and the desire to really combat diet related conditions like hypertension and obesity that have run in different Black families, Black American families for a long time. And people are becoming more conscious of these different health decisions. So, however, HBCU students have a specific requirement. They want food that feels authentic to their culture, and they don't want to blend health food. They want actual flavor. And so, second, we're going to go into the economic conditions, which are very challenging. So, our target demographic is ages 18 to 25, and this demographic is financially strained, especially because they are college students. And as I mentioned, 63.5% of PA students face food insecurity. So price sensitivity is very extreme. So this is a very critical finding because it means affordability is a barrier to entry. And if we price ourselves out of the market, we fail. We must compete directly with the $6 or $4 to $8 price range of fast food. So, finally, the political and institutional environment is also a great factor because PVMU has already launched initiatives like the Produce Prescription Program, which shows that, which actually provides fresh produce and nutrition education to Prairie View students. So, this shows that admin is very supportive of these different rising health concerns and health solutions and are trying to find a way to solve food insecurity in Prairie View and also solve, you know, the way that we actually learn and know about our food and what we're eating. Now let's look at the competitive landscape. We categorize We categorize each competitor into two groups, direct and indirect. As you can see, all of these above are actual direct competitors. So we're able to put all of these into different categories because they are the frozen giants that are actually um, competing with Trap Vegan frozen meals with healthiness, cultural relevance, accessibility near PV, and also affordability to these college students. So, all of these brands, as you can see, lack cultural relevance, which is like, they come with a generic type of flavor and they don't really satisfy a craving for comfort foods that Black Americans are familiar with. And so, furthermore, these brands like Great Value often sacrifice nutritional quality for their price. And then so our indirect competitors, which are not shown here, which is like Popeyes, different late night options like Popeyes, Checkers, and like campus dining, they all score high on accessibility, but they score very low in health. So this means that campus dining also faces criticism for limited operating hours, leaving students stranded late at night, which is not good. But Trap Vegan is has a very competitive advantage, which is clear. We are the only brand that sits at the intersection of all three student needs: convenience, health, and culture. And that is what they're looking for and what we're looking for to change. So, as you can see, going deeper into the analysis using Porter's five forces, we can understand the intensity of the market. So, starting with the competitive rivalry, it is obviously high. The frozen food aisle is very has a lot of different competition. So we are competing against different conglomerates like Nestle, who have massive budgets, and as well as local fast food chains fighting for their share of everyone's hunger. So these also leads me into the threat of substitutes, which is a major risk factor. Students have zero switching costs. So if our project is out of stock or tastes bad, they can instantly switch to DoorDash, the dining hall, or just a snack from a vending machine instead of buying our product, of course. So then we go to the buyer power, which is high because students have limited disposable income and they are extremely price sensitive. They hold the power. If our price point exceeds $7 to $8, they will likely reject the product entirely because it's too expensive. And so that leads me to our threat of new entrants. And so manufacturing is easy and but securing limited campus freezer space is a high barrier. So, like, of course, we want to have access on campus and make sure that everybody is able to get towards and buy the actual product. But, you know, is there space? Could there be space? Because there's all these other competitors already taking space in the freezers. So it is moderate, and of course, they would make room for what that like the students actually want. So that brings us to the supplier power. The ingredients for plant-based soul food are at stable prices. This is easy things to get, like jackfruit, chickpeas, pasta, spices, different things. They're very stable. However, as a small startup, we are not a big corporation. So Trap Vegan may have less leverage with manufacturing partners compared to larger competitors because you have to build an actual relationship with these different competitors. But as because of why is low to moderate is because as time goes on and we build those different relationships, we'll be able to have more leverage and make more revenue as the initiative goes on. All right, using all this data, we come to the SWOT analysis: strengths, internal weaknesses, and external opportunities and threats. And so, our big strength is our brand identity. Mixing trap culture with veganism creates an immediate connection with our demographic that we're trying to hit. We aren't trying to be Whole Foods, we're trying to be soul food. So, it's very, very important that we focus on cultural relatability and focus on the fact that we're able to solve the problem of the late night busy student demographic with the frozen convenience. So that leads me to our internal weaknesses because unfortunately, This brand, Trap Vegan, is Detroit based, which means the recognition in Texas could be low. But of course, Texas is a melting pot. So there is some audience from Detroit, but it might take a little bit of storytelling and brand development to really get that story across and why this is so important to the Black community. And then, of course, Black people do not want to really think about the vegan stigma. They might associate vegan with a lack of flavor because, of course, Black American food is very flavorful. And then, of course, moving on to our external opportunities, the lack of healthy late night options is an opportunity that we can build upon, as I mentioned earlier. This is something that is really stressed as a Prairie View A&M student. So we are able to really build off of that opportunity and make sure that these different frozen packages are available late night after everything is closed, whether that be in vending machines or in the Panther Mart or in the late night Dollar General, Walmart. It just depends. And so the food desert status of the campus is really the biggest thing as well because there is a desperate unmet need for these options. Additionally, Gen Z's heavy reliance on TikTok allows us to market virally without a TV sized budget. So, honestly, we can utilize different influencers on campus and make sure that we're able to keep up with the trends so that we can market this product to our demographic. And so, lastly, with our threats, we must remain vigilant about the price sensitivity and supply chain risk. Frozen inventory is vulnerable, and a single power outage at a retailer could wipe out our stock. And being in a small town like Prairie View, Texas, this is likely to happen. So we must be vigilant. And so this brings us to our goals and objectives. Based on these findings, we have a set specific measurable goal and objective. So our primary goal is to really combat food insecurity, as I've stated before, by becoming the leading healthy convenience meal on campus. So our specific objectives include selling at least 2,500 units within the first semester and distributing at least 100% of our placements in our target locations that are on campus, specifically the Panther Mart and University College vending machines. This is catered towards the freshmen and everybody on campus that goes to the Memorial Student Center. As well as engagement is a big objective because we are wanting to gain at least 1,000 Instagram followers because that is what Prairie View students use the most at this time on from PVMU students on campus, and we'll be able to do all of these things by actually doing trap taste test pop-ups on campus, having taste tests and giving out different samples, giving out different merch, and gaining different feedback from actual students and staff on campus. And so, of course, our target market, as I've spoke before, is we really must achieve these numbers and must be able to define our target market. So, of course, we aren't just targeting students; we're targeting the PVMU undergraduate as a whole. So, geographically, they are bound to the campus, and the immediate radius is 25 miles. So, we're looking for people that are on campus or 25 miles away. So this could be people that go to Prairie View and live off campus, on campus, or even staff and administration that live on campus or off campus. And then demographically, we're able to target 18 to 24-year-olds with limited income that are HBCU students as well. And then, of course, we're looking for the late night eaters that are looking for that grab and go so they can go get back and hurry up and go back to studying. And also, we're looking for the health conscious people that maybe they might go to the gym. They don't really want to slip up on their diet and they don't have as much time to really spend on eating because they got to get back to school or they want to have time to go to the gym or something to eat right before the gym. And they value that real authenticity that we will provide as a brand that is really culturally relevant. And so, this is the product. We're launching this these core meals that are from $3.99 to $6.99